We in the studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. In the studio. Catch a vibe in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. With Rob in the studio. In the studio. We in the studio. Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Izzle on it, only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom. Gemstones on your head. Tub with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob. Come let the heat rock simmer.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of In the Studio with Rob. I am Rob.
That's what they say.
And I'm here once again with my young man, Izzle.
Here.
How you doing?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
You didn't have any other clothes you could have worn today?
You know, I gotta rock this Knicks. You know, that's my team.
You don't have to. That's a choice.
I know it's what it's in me. You know, Bernard King was my man back in the day. I love watching him play, and I'm in love for life now.
I'm sorry you have to go through this.
So anyway, we're gonna talk about fighting to win, but we don't need to get into a fight right now, right?
Or then it's just fighting.
So we're gonna talk about this. So, hey, people, and I love the people.
Man of the people you are.
And with my love for the people, one thing I understand is that people gonna fight sometime. No matter how much we care about each other, we gonna fight sometime. We gonna disagree.
No way around it.
And when I'm talking about fighting, I ain't talking about putting your hands up on. I ain't putting your hands on people. I'm talking about fighting those arguments, that's disagreements that this is ugly.
But sometimes.
Nah, we gonna leave the hands out of it for now. But, like I said, what happens is we don't fight to win necessarily in the big scheme of things. We think we're fighting to win. But what we're fighting to do is to destroy. We need to learn to fight to win. And when we win, that means, and especially when we talk about a relationship, we fight to win because I'm not putting down my partner. If I'm not destroying my wife, I'm lifting her up, and we have this argument and we had this disagreement, and we both come out stronger, then we won.
So it's a collective win.
Right. But if we just fighting for me to come out on top, I've probably destroyed some part of her or, some part of the relationship. So it can't be that way. So I'm going to try to help teach you how to fight to win.
Together.
And so together. And one of the things that I always do, when I say I always do, but I try to do, and I do more of now than ever, is that before we have that tough conversation, we're going to pray. And I'm not asking God to help me win, even though I probably should sometimes. Lord, fix this girl.
That might be
fix this girl if she's wrong. But what I'm praying for, I need some wisdom, and I need some for us to stay calm and stay on topic. And I need to keep us out of our emotions. So I'm praying for a little peace and calmness in this conversation.
Wait, so you're asking God to be your producer?
Yeah, definitely. So I have to do that. But then also, what we don't do enough of, and we should do is, we need to give our partners or whoever we want to have that conversation with fair warning that I want to have a conversation. Don't sneak attack. Don't just come up and walk up on me. I come in the house smiling, thinking they had a great day at work. We need to talk. And you just jump into it. Yo, I don't even know what's going on. What are you talking about? We need to give me some warning. I should give you some warning. Hey, I'm at work. I'm gonna call you. Hey, babe, when I get home, I want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z, whatever that is. That way, when you're prepared to have an intelligent conversation, and you don't feel ambushed. Because if you come at me wrong, and I feel like you ambushing me, I gotta defend myself, which is wrong in every case. No, whenever you defend yourself, you're never gonna resolve an issue the right way. So, give me some warning. Let me know. I'll let you know. Let me know that you want to have this conversation, so that we don't get into, start off on the defense. Because, I can only bob and weave for so many times before I start throwing some hands back. And I'm talking about verbal hands. But, you know what I mean. So
But sometimes.
so you can only do it so many times. And then, don't mirror unfair tactics. And what do I mean by unfair tactics? You get all caught up in your emotions and you start, we're talking about, let's say we had a conversation about cleaning the bathroom. And you want to say, we wouldn't have this, we talking about why you clean it up more than me, or why I clean it more than you, whatever the case may be. And we having that conversation. And all of a sudden, because you don't like the way, or because I'm giving more reasons why you should do it more than me, all of a sudden you bring up the fact that, that my feet stink. They don't, but let's say you bring that up. It's like, and so now what's going to happen? I'm going to say your breath stink. Now you going to say this. And so now we can't do that. We can't go to using things to hurt each other in order to win the conversation. Because again, you may win the conversation, but you're going to lose this fight. I can't mirror you. Even when you decide to get upset. I had a young friend of mine, and was talking, and he was talking about, every time they talk, his wife, gets emotional, and she start, on her emotion. No, she's a little bit more emotional than he is. And so what happens is, he gets emotional. Can't do that. Somebody got to stay calm. I can't raise my level of emotion to meet yours. I'm not trying to raise my level of frustration to meet yours. We can't be, one of us gotta stay reasonable in this conversation. If you're gonna get crazy, then again, both of us acting crazy, all we're gonna get is crazy. So we gotta make sure that we don't match each other's unfair tactics. Stay in the right place for this conversation. What are we having this debate about? What are we having this issue that we're focusing on? And let's not go into calling each other names or trying to hurt each other out of trying to win. You got to be able to listen. A great listener. Have great listening skills. And again, we talked about that in communication, and the same thing in fighting, or in your arguments or your debates. You got to be able to listen to the other person. Because even when we're trying to do this, we can't resolve the issue if neither one of us listen to each other. So again, that's part of it. Also, when we pray, we should be praying that, help us to hear what the other person is saying. So we can't just go into this and we just gonna be, I'm gonna say my piece and she gonna hear what I got to say, or he don't listen, he gonna listen today. No, you have to listen too. You have to listen too. And you have to seek to understand what it is they're saying. So as you're listening, I want to listen, but I want to understand what you're saying. I don't just want to hear, because, I was quiet. I ain't saying nothing the whole time. I listened to you. But you didn't understand the word I said. One, because you was probably trying to think of a comeback. You trying to defend yourself or defend your point before I even finished, so you never even really understood what I was trying to say. Mm-hmm. And I want you to understand not just the words. Sometimes everybody don't communicate the same. So let's be clear on that. As far as using the right words, especially when they get caught up in the emotions, they even use the wrong words even more so. But I need you to understand. If I go into this and I say, you're not my enemy, the issue is my enemy, or the issue is my problem, it's not you. but we need to deal with this. So, if I sit down and I listen to you and you talking and you saying these things to me, I can understand you differently if I'm not looking at you as a threat or enemy. And now I can hear from your heart. Even if you don't use the right word here or there, your heart is still saying that, hey, this is what the problem is. And so I want to understand where you're coming from and what you're saying.
If I'm defending myself, that means you're attacking me, and vice versa. So,
or you feel that you're being attacked,
exactly.
right? Which is just as bad. But sometimes we can change our perceived attack, the perceived attack that's coming at us, by understanding who's talking to us. Mm-hmm. So if my wife is coming at me, I don't feel like you attacking me. Because I already know, I know her well enough to know she ain't trying to hurt me. Now, some people, I'm like, yeah, they trying to come at, brother. You about to hear this. So you go to work and, you're sitting in this meeting and you bring up a good idea and you can hear somebody and you already know, they trying to stab me in my back. So yeah, you defend, but that ain't home though. At home, we on the same team. So whatever she's telling me or whatever I'm telling her, we should be looking at it from the eyes of, I don't need to defend myself. I just need to maybe clarify my point or communicate better to what I was trying to do or thinking, or maybe she needs to do it. Right. So it's a little different. But yeah, but that is the problem, is that when we come at it from a place where we feel like we have to defend ourselves,
that's implying that there's an attacker. Right.
And you're like, why would my wife attack me? She ain't attacking me. Now, she might be hurt and speaking out of her hurt, but that's even less of a reason for me to defend myself. Because if she hurt, then I need to get to the root of why is she hurt? Because I want to heal you. That's my wife. I love you, girl. I don't want you hurt. And I definitely don't want to be the one to hurt you, and I don't want nobody else to hurt you. Because this is a problem we have, especially in relationships. We get to this place where we be like, I'll die for my wife, boy. And somebody say something to my wife, you go out, some dude look at your wife funny or whatever. You really, knuckle up. Let's get it on. I'm strapped. I'll do this. But yet you hurt her more than anybody else. It makes no sense to me. Why would you continue to hurt somebody that you gonna die for? You will die for them, but you gonna hurt them all the time. I ain't dying for nobody I'm gonna hurt. Why I die for you? I just let somebody else hurt you and I can live and be happy with somebody else. That don't even make sense. But again, so if I have to make sure that I'm not the one hurting you. I got to find out where that hurt comes from that makes you so angry at me or makes you come at me this way. Where is that anger coming from? And if it's coming from a place of hurt, let's heal your hurt. And how do I help heal that hurt? So again, I have to look at this thing from a different way. We have to stay on topic. If you come to me and you say you want to talk to me about the roles in the house, or the responsibilities in the house rather, and my responsibility was to take out the trash, your responsibility was to make up the bed, okay, and you ain't fulfilling your role, or you don't feel like I'm fulfilling my role of taking out the trash. We discussing the trash. Don't bring up the bathroom. We talking about this. Let's fix this issue, resolve this. Don't bring up another topic to help you win your point or try to win your point. No, let's stay on topic to resolve this issue so now we can move forward. The problem is you trying to now throw in all these topics, and again, it becomes now a defense. Because now I got to defend the fact that you say I don't do this and that. We was just talking about trash. Can we stay on the trash? Stay on topic. Resolve the issue that you had. Don't just bring up more issues because you want to win a fight. Stay on topic. Because when you do that, we end up not resolving the issue we have, and now we got even a bigger problem. Because now we got to fix all the other stuff you came up with. So now we fighting about the trash, we fighting about the bathroom, we fighting about you not moving my seat back in the car, we fighting about me not washing the windows on your car, we fighting about all kind of stuff because we just keep throwing more stuff into it. Stay on topic. let's deal with that topic. One of my pet peeves is when I hear people compare somebody else to their husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And again, I get it. I understand why you might feel the need to do that, but that's the worst thing you can do. Me personally, if you want me to respond in a negative way, compare me to somebody else. Tell me why. Oh well, so and so he don't treat his wife like that, or so and so daddy is what. Man, please, I don't care. Look, go live with them. That's how I'm gonna respond. Don't compare me to somebody else, because one, you don't even know what the whole picture. You only know what you see when they show what they show you. You know, on their Instagram pictures, or their when they post on Facebook their happy family, when daddy out playing and you see daddy playing with the kids, but you don't know that when daddy get them home, he smack them upside the head. Or when mama go home, she go home and get drunk and go to sleep. You don't know all the stuff that go on. You just know what they show you. So don't compare. You don't know what I go through. You don't know, what they go through. You don't know what they went through. Because, I had somebody say, they thought they wanted their husband to be like me. Oh, yeah, he is like me when I was that age. But see, you didn't know me at that age. So what you got is a person at that age that is like me, that was like me at that age, but you wouldn't like me either. But you can't expect a 25-year-old, 22-year-old to be like a 57-year-old, or at the time a 42-year-old. You got to grow. You got to develop. You got to go through some stuff in order to get like me. And I don't, even now, there are people I see or we talk to that are much older, and I'm like, yo, he got a calmness, a peace. But I ain't got that yet. It's going to take me some more time to get there. So don't compare your ex-girlfriend to your current girlfriend or your current wife. Yo, so-and-so, well, you should have stayed with her. But if you really think about it, you only compare them when things are, when y'all in this argument. But you don't think back and be like, yo, I left this fool because she had all these other issues. But you want to bring up the one thing that person had good about them. No, don't do that, because you're going to tear down your relationship. Don't tell me about your ex-boyfriend. Don't tell me about your daddy. I don't care what your daddy did or how your daddy handles a situation. Your daddy is not me. Now, don't mean that I can't grow to handle situations better, or I don't need to handle situations better. But don't compare me to them.
I'll knock both of them out.
Say again?
I'll knock both of them out.
Yeah, well, you never know. Daddy might be able to swing. but that's the whole thing. You causing problems that you don't need. You comparing people. Again, not one person wants to be compared to another. I don't care how great. Even if my wife thinks let's say she got a really a best friend, and her best friend is married, and her best friend seems to do all these great things right in my wife's eyes. If I said you need to be like her, my wife would lose her mind. How you gonna compare? Well, you think she great? Why can't I think you should be more like your great friend? Nobody wants to be compared, no matter what. It don't matter. Don't compare people. Don't compare. Stop. That's not gonna help you win this argument. That's gonna create problems that you will have a hard time walking back. Avoid making assumptions. Don't assume what I'm thinking. Don't assume my motives.
Because when you assume, you're making... What's this podcast rated?
Oh. Yeah, don't say it. No, we PG. So, don't assume. Because, again, if you want to know what I'm thinking, please ask me. I will tell you. I would hope you would tell me if I asked you. If you want to know why I did something, ask me. Don't be like, oh, you only did it because I did this, so you were retaliating. No, I did that because I wanted to, or because I thought that was the best thing to do at the time, or whatever the reason was. I will give you a reason. Most people will give you a reason. Some won't, but most will. But the problem is when we go off of that assumption, our assumptions are usually negative first. We very rarely assume good about people, especially in an argument. So if you tell me that I don't take out the trash enough, I'm not assuming that you telling me that strictly because you want me to take out the trash, but I'm assuming that there's a problem that other than that I can't see, but I know it's more than just the trash. She ain't just bring up no trash. She trying to get something else out of this. And as opposed to thinking, maybe she just talking about the trash. But even if that's the case, why don't I just ask you? Just talk. Don't assume. And because again, the negative is always going to be your first assumption. You're always going to assume the negative first, the worst about the person or about people. And again, if this is my wife, this is my husband, I should be assuming the best about them because their best helps me. Don't hurt me. So I got to stop assuming about what somebody else is thinking and going through and dealing with. That's crazy. Don't insult me. Don't yell at me. I hate people to yell at me, first of all. But the insults. Why are we? Because again, I'm better at it than most people. So for me personally, if you come at me and you throw an insult out there, you probably gonna get a whole lot more that you can't handle. I've been doing it a long time. I'm good at it.
My own family to do that.
Yeah. My kids, we all good at it. So be careful with the insults. But again, it don't help. It's only going to make the conversation that much worse and make the outcome worse. Stay calm. Let's talk about the issue. Let's stay on track. Don't tear each other down. Because again, me tearing you down is me tearing myself down. Because we supposed to be one if we married. So I ain't tearing myself down. So I got to stop that. And again, we talked about this a little bit, but bringing up those past arguments. We talking about what we talking about, whatever that topic is, and you decide to say, well, when I told you this about this last time, you didn't do nothing or you didn't fix. Hold up. We talking about that or we talking about this? Again, what you're doing is you're trying so bad to win is that you want to bring up stuff that don't apply to us right now. And this is where it's unfair to men too. We don't remember stuff that y'all remember. We forget. It's like when we had a conversation today about whatever, I'm not going to remember what I said or all the stuff that went on in that conversation next week. You will. So for you to throw that stuff up in my face, that ain't even fair. Because I can't even really defend that because I don't know I don't even know what you said. So stop bringing stuff up from the past. It ain't even fair. This argument is this argument. I can't remember what I said, last year. Well, remember when we first got married? Girl, we've been married for 27 years. I don't remember what happened in 27 years. I can barely remember the wedding. I just know we got married. I don't remember everything that happened.
The argument from the summer of '99.
Yeah, it's like, come on now. How are we supposed to remember? We supposed to go, look, come on now. Well, you never, no, let's stop that. So that ain't even fair to men. So don't do that. Leave the past in the past. Be respectful. My goal is for resolution. It is not necessarily to win. I gotta be respectful. Because what happens is, if I'm gonna disrespect you and win, again, I'm gonna lose. I want to resolve the issue. I don't want to dissolve our marriage or our relationship. So I got to be careful. So we got to make sure we kind of understand that, being respectful for I respect you. I respect what you've done. I respect what you're doing in this relationship. I respect how you treat me. I need you to do the same thing for me. And in this conversation, no matter what it is that I've done wrong or what you perceive that I've done wrong, be respectful in how we talk about it. Because if it's not going to be respectful, it's going to become a problem for both of us. And we're not going to resolve the issue. Don't be afraid to take a break. Sometimes, things can get heated. And so we're not going to act like they can't. But if they get heated, pull back. Take a break. It's okay. Just take a break. Revisit. Let's say we're gonna take an hour. You go to your corner, I go to my corner. We're gonna go pray about this and separately, and kind of think about what we're saying, and then we'll come back together and finish this conversation. It's okay to take a break. I ain't saying put it off. We'll come back and talk about it in 2 weeks. No, we're gonna talk about it today, or maybe if it's late, we'll talk about it in the morning. But sometimes we have to stop because we don't want to get to a place where we are disrespecting each other, or we are saying things that that's going to hurt each other even more. So take a break when you need to. Look to the interests of your spouse. Stop being selfish. And I said, marriage is not about you; it's about us. And so sometimes
that's a callback to one of the previous episodes. So if y'all ain't watching, y'all ain't gonna get it.
It is. And so sometimes you have to think, all right, is this issue, this thing that's so upsetting to her or to him, is it really that deep to me? If it's not, why am I going to argue with you about it? Okay, I can do better. You're right. I should take it. I haven't been taking the trash out regularly enough. I ain't gonna fight over that. I'll take the trash out on a more regular basis because, again, it makes you feel good. I can care less. I thought there was more room in the trash can. Okay, but fine. If that's so small, those certain things we don't even realize. It's like most of the stuff we argue about are so small, they turn into big things, but they start off so small because our ego and our pride and our selfishness won't allow us to just say, okay, I'll do better. Sometimes that's all you got to say is, I'll do better. You got it, babe. My fault. I'll do better. Hey, and look, and I'll tell you this. If you see that I haven't, or I'm not doing it wrong, just remind me, hey, don't forget the trash. I'm okay with you saying that. I don't feel that's nagging. Hey, the trash overflowing. Okay, I got it. But, it don't have to be a big deal. And then some people, why I got to remind you? Why not? Again, you thinking about you being selfish again. So now you being selfish because you want to remind me. Come on. So you're not going to remind me. Then you're going to be mad. And then you're going to come back at me. And now we're going to have a biggie. So you rather fight than to just say, hey, can you remember to do such and such?
What if I ain't go in the kitchen?
I mean, certain things don't even make sense. We fight and argue over certain things because we're selfish. Stop being selfish. And lastly, remember we're on the same team. Me and you. If you win, I win. You lose, I lose. We need to have these conversations understanding where we start from. We start on the same team. How we conduct ourselves in this argument or in this disagreement might have an effect on where we finish. But we start on the same team. Now, if we don't handle this right, we may be on opposite teams. But that's not where we're trying to go. So I need to understand and remember, you are not my enemy. I got you, babe. You got me. We working this thing together. We're going to have some ups and downs. We're going to get in arguments. We're going to have disagreements. Times where you get on my last nerve. However, because who you are to me, I'm going to expand my capacity to deal with that. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to treat you like just anybody. I'm not going to talk down to you. I'm not going to belittle you. I'm not going to make you feel like you stupid and I'm the only smart person in the room. I'm not going to make it like it's all about me, because it's not. It's about us. So I have to do better. I have to make sure I do better. And that's one of the things I think people should always remember. No matter what relationship you in, work relationship, family relationship, marriage, whatever, you only can fix you. You're the only person you can change. So no matter what's going on, it's how do you deal with that? How do you deal with it? Not how do you get them to deal with it. How do I deal with her yelling? How do I deal with this person saying these things about me? How do I? That's where the selfishness is in the change in you. Because you're the only person that can change you. I can change my wife. I can change how I respond to my wife. Because I'm called to love my wife. So I have to change how I respond. So I respond to her in a loving way. But I can't change her. She can't change me. She can change how she responds to me and how she interacts with me. But she's not going to make me do anything. So if you stop focusing on all the flaws of the person that you're married with or anybody else, focusing on their flaws so much as opposed to how you deal with their flaws, you could probably have a better conversation and even a better disagreement. Because you will respond differently and better. So I hope you learn to fight fair. Fair fighting involves grace and love and abundance. Gotta have some grace for the other person. You gotta love them no matter what. And then you can get to doing all these other things we named to help you, have that fair fight where you both win. And now we're fighting to win. We're not just fighting.
Y'all win together. Y'all the Celtics.
You win together. Just like New York. And we will call it with that. And alright, so hopefully you guys got something out of it. You enjoyed yourself a little bit. So again, keep on checking us out. Keep on listening. Keep on watching. YouTube, Apple, all them other places.
Wherever you get your podcast.
It's all over the place, man. If you ain't listening to the whole thing, you like the only one. So
seriously, it's like 2 of y'all out there that's not listening to the whole thing.
Yeah, so y'all, you need to go get on board.
We get like 1 million likes a day, for real.
So y'all need to really start, be a part of it. Don't get on the train so late.
Team.
Yeah,
join the family.
You all on the train late after it's been moving. You trying to run and catch up.
Yeah, do it till I hold the door.
Yeah, hold the door.
I'm getting that door.
We rolling.
Facts. We out here. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Like and subscribe, please and thank you.
Please and thank you. We appreciate you guys. You have a good one. Until next time.
Gotta go. Bye.
Peace.
Studio. We in the studio. We Rob in the studio. In the studio. Catch a vibe. In the studio. We in the studio. We Rob. We in the studio. We in the studio. Catch a vibe. Yeah, I'm in the studio with Rob. I need to make the heat flicker. Izzle on it, only thing can make a Rico beat sicker. So listen and get your wisdom gemstones on your head. Good with the OG like Flintstones, good in bed. Been living a long time and he got something to say. Depending on how you feeling, dog, you might got something to pray. This type of influence that you ain't gotta filter through your liver. We in the studio with Rob, come let the heat rock simmer.